Hello guys, Rapid Chess here with another video. I decided to continue my vlogging even though I didn't have too much feedback from you guys, but anyway. So today ended the 5th round, the first half of tournament of Norway Chess. Has been 5 years ago, I think. Maybe St. Louis was just a little bit better, but these both tournaments had the top 10 players couple of years, and after that they changed the format. Now they have only 6 players, which play 2 round robins with each player match of 2 games. And they start to invite basically less I don't know, these all big players, and they always had this one player from the qualifying tournament. Simon Adgestein once played, and even though he quit chess, he had like so he made 7 draws from with top 10 and lost last 2 games against Magnus, and someone else just got too tired. So this is a top tournament. I'm not saying this, but it changed the format a little bit. So this is the leading players today, and the game we will look today is, of course, the big result. Sergei Karjakin defeated Magnus Carlsen with white pieces. And Firuja started very badly, but today he won against Aryan. Not the best game for both players, I think, but Firuja also moved into trailing behind Magnus, which is very good, and Karjakin up to 3rd place. Alright, so let's see the game. Obviously, these players have a huge history already. They play for 15 years probably, and recently they not only had this World Championship match, but they play all the time on the internet and this non-stop online tournament, so they know exactly what's going to happen. And Sergei played e4. Sergei is e4 player. Magnus, I think he doesn't like d4 too much, but just he wants to have just a little bit more intuition to play more with his head rather than just prepare all the time. That's why he changes so much. But Karjakin, I think he's more oriented to result. He's not so it's not that important for him to keep on experimenting all the time. He just wants to play a good game, have an equal position or advantage rather than just to try to outplay someone. c5, standard for late Carlsen. He again played a lot of e5s, but c5 of course now is one of his main moves. Knight e3, knight c6, and e5. So Sveshnikov died recently, as you know, but his legacy will stay with chess forever. Knight b5, d6, and knight to d5. So this move has been played by Kramnik. More natural is to play bishop to g5. But now for top players it's more standard to play knight to d5 immediately. Takes, knight e7, c4. White takes a lot of space in the center, and black kind of trailing behind with the development, but it's normal. And this knight on b5 is a little bit out of play. Knight g6, queen to a4, threatening double check with knight to d6. bishop d7, and queen to b4, attacking this pawn and at some point attacking the b7. Queen b8, protecting both pawns, and h4. So I like this idea. I wouldn't play myself like this. I would try to develop as quickly as possible with the bishop and play castles. But actually, knight on g6 is very vulnerable. Not very, but a little bit, because I play a lot of French defense with black, and this move is very annoying because white will win a tempo with h5, and if pawn gets to h6, this is a problem, because this nail will stay for a couple of moves, and white will quickly develop an attack. So Magnus plays h5. And this move is, of course, it blocks this pawn move on h4, but immediately this knight is a little bit vulnerable. With bishop to d3, you can attack it, and you have to find a good square for this knight. And again, this position is a little bit compromised. Bishop e3, bishop e7, and g3, so protecting h4, castles, and bishop to e2. I would play myself, I think, bishop to d3 more. I want to attack this knight, but of course this is very reasonable. You just make a development move and attack the h5. b5, takes, Karjakin took on h5, and bishop to d8. So at this point, they both already out of their prep, and actually it's surprising for me that this position is just a little bit better for black according to engine. I think I take white here because I see that white is pawn up. They have good development. They almost castled, and well, black has somewhat compensation, but at some point engine considers that this position is a little bit better for black actually. So white castles, knight to e7, and that's why I think Carlsen plays this position so much, because he gets this middle game position, which is, I think you cannot remember what's going on in something like this, because in some closed positions or very tactical, you will have one or two moves maybe available for you, but here white has a lot of moves, and everyone plays with his own head, with his own imagination, and that's what Carlsen normally knows how to outplay opponents in the game like this. So knight to e7, and black has this plan, and black has a lot of also millions of moves, like move the bishop somewhere, play f5, attack, play g6. Just a lot of fantasy. Bishop to g5. This move I couldn't imagine playing, because I would say that this bishop here is excellent, but it appears that he doesn't want to allow his opponent to play bishop b6, because now it has to protect this e7 knight. Bishop e5, attacking the queen. Queen b3, and knight to f5. So Carlsen found a way to develop both pieces. He has, according to engine, excellent position. So this is a very nice move if black manages to play like this. So Karjakin doesn't allow it. He plays knight to e2. Natural rook c1. And rook to a4. So according to engine, black is much better almost winning. I think that white overexpanded. Yeah, they have this 2 bishops developed, but now this bishop doesn't do a lot. And this bishop is extremely strong right now because you see that this pawn is pinned. So black has a lot of tactical ideas taking this pawn. This rook may be extremely strong at some point. It can move somewhere to e4, for instance, and attack all these pieces. So Karjakin found, I think, an excellent move, rook to c6. So he offers an exchange, sacrifice, and Magnus took this exchange, and after taking, so the let's say what happened in this position is that now white gave up an exchange, but they have I don't know, a counterplay, let's say, and this pawn on c6, I wouldn't say it's very dangerous, but if we look into the game, it will become really big threat for black. And also, of course, this diagonal has opened up, and white now has a lot of things to attack. Engine suggested to play queen to a7 first. So rook c4, attacking the pawn, and a4. Now, if black takes the pawn, then queen to f3 and attacking both pieces, and after bishop to g4, white is a little bit better. I'd take white here. But in this extremely sharp positions, everything changes very quickly, but definitely what Karjakin understands is that you have to fight for initiative. Knight to d4, and Karjakin took on b4. So now very nice two connected passed pawns, and I think for Sergey very important that his king is safe right now. Black doesn't have any potential attacking on g3 anymore, and black is in exchange up, but not that easy to take these pawns because white's bishop can defend all this with from e2 or f3, and if black doesn't find anything good, then white will have a big advantage. d5. So this is a mistake according to Engine, and at this point Karjakin started to play like Engine moves all the time. Rook c1. Again, very strong move. Chess is very concrete game, but if you like exchange it up, exchange down, so normally you don't want to exchange your rook because the one rook can at some point help you defend against both of these rooks, but Karjakin found out that he will take on this d5 pawn, and it will be enough to compensate this exchange. So he exchanged the pawns. And now another exchange, bishop to e3. So normally when you down material, you don't want to play these exchanges all the time, but Karjakin just calculated that he needs to exchange a lot, and with this bishop and these 2 pawns, passed pawns, this rook cannot do anything. Took with the pawn because this pawn on b5 is hanging. Rook to d8, defending. All these moves are very natural. d4 and queen to d3. Just white needs a couple of moves to centralize, to kill off the initiative of black. Queen b6 and queen to c2. So a lot of this double question marks. Even though these moves are not that bad, but engine just says that if you lose a couple of pawns with one move, then it's like a big blunder. The problem is that with this time control, players don't have increment until move 41. And after 41 it's 10 seconds. It's enough to play, but before that you don't want to play on seconds, yeah, because they don't have increment in this tournament. Queen to b4. So again, a lot of mistakes. Engine suggested to play rook to e3, but when you don't see the move, what it actually does, maybe probably creates some counterattack with queen to d6. You just want to make a safe move quickly and look for your further chances. Queen f2, queen f3, queen b4. So engine suggested f5 and offering exchange of queens, saying that it's a total draw, or play queen to c2. Magnus doesn't want to exchange the queens. f2, d3, and I don't know whether Magnus was looking for his chances, but this is actually very easy win for Karjakin. I think he calculated everything. So these 2 pawns, you just can't stop them. Rook b6, and Sergey played very nice move h5. Of course, you can play c7, but after this, it's not easy to win because rook b5, and with this pawn, just this rook will march on this line, and you will not be able to cross it with your king or something. So it's very easy to draw yet. That's why Sergey played very nice move h5, which is extremely winning, and king h4. And as you can see now, this rook cannot create to defend the king, yeah. And in a couple of moves, Magnus resigned. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.